the proportion of staff that has been suggested?
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. Please comment.
Your Excellency, in regard to this issue, you seem to be putting a condition that because we have only accepted an extra 5% of your staff, so you will only fund 75%. Well, when we put the request forward to you, we are actually unable. And like our Minister of Foreign Affairs said, foreign policy is not static. I'm a representative of the Immigration Department, and we are going to liaise with the Ministry of Labor. We shall actually increase the percentage to about 30%, but on condition that we have aids under your Chinese staff, such that after 2 years, we are going to Kenyanize those positions, and after 2 years, we'll have the Chinese moving out. Well, I hope we can come to some sort of agreement on this.
Your Excellencies, that is point to discussion. We'll do consultation on that, then we'll get back to you. But as our Minister for Immigration said, we will need to localize the positions, especially in the employment sector, as pertaining to our labor laws. We really need to comply, but we can still negotiate.
On behalf of the People's Republic of China, we are so glad because of the offer that you have given to our country, and we appreciate the contribution by the Minister for Immigration of Kenya. However, it is the feeling of my delegation that the issue of labor, probably we shouldn't be discussing localizing. We should try to internalize our people. And we do believe that by injecting a proportion of Chinese workers in Kenyan hospitals, we are standardizing the Kenyan workers with international standards. Secondly, we wish to request that by the time that the Chinese workers are replaced, probably that time should be extended, so that probably the government should be able to recoup its investment in the institutions, and our suggestion is 7 years before the localization can be made.
Much for your proposal. However, I'd like to comment that what we also be looking at is a knowledge and skills transfer, which is important to our country. So the idea of 70 years is subject to discussion. Let me give my Honorable Minister to comment on that.
Thank you, Excellency from China. I don't think we should really dwell so much on this issue because, getting Chinese doctors to come and work in Kenya will not be that easy. These doctors are posted to the rural areas, and language is a barrier. And, doctor-patients, relationship must be respected. So 3 years should be the maximum they can supervise of our doctors. They are in fact not going to deal with the patients, they will just be supervising of our doctors. And in any case, we are getting all the equipments from China. So I think this is a deal which should just be sealed as the way it is. Thank you.
After consulting with my colleagues, I think we shall accept the deal as it is for 3 years of Chinese labor in the institutions that we have specified to sponsor. Thank you.
We are pleased so much with the offer and accepting our proposal. I'd like us to go back to the Ministry of Energy, because we just highlighted the agenda, but we need to do a few discussions. The next issue was a proposal towards medicine. Training and medicine. Kindly, Your Excellencies, would like to get a comment on that.
There's an issue of herbal medicines and training. We would like to say that for the few years, we have been encouraging Kenyan Kiswahili lecturers to come within our universities to try and teach our people how to speak the language. So I believe that by doctors from China being advancing the training, we can be able to have our doctors come to Kenya and be able to communicate effectively, so language can be overcome. And then there's the issue of herbal medicine. If you have been keen and very observant, we have been having network marketing companies within Kenya. We have Tasli, we have Neptunus, we have, we are trying to really create job opportunities within your health sector and also try to, but what is important is to note that we are requesting the work permit within your country for our citizens is too high, such that the people who are doing the network marketing business, we are facing a really big challenge in terms of the work permit your country is providing, and that's an issue we wanted to raise so that we can be able to harmonize the work permit that is within your country, so that we can be able to pass on the knowledge on herbal medicines. So I'm requesting that to be discussed. Maybe my colleague will add on something.
Well, in terms of access to medical facilities, we are going to liaise with the Ministry of Roads, Infrastructure, and assist in preparing the roads accessible to the medical facilities so that the people in the local areas and rural areas can access medical facilities in Kenya. Of course, we have said that our government has already agreed to construct a spinal injury hospital, an additional spinal injury hospital. We have also said that the exchange program, we are going to liaise with our government, and of course, the president has just called and said that we are going to give 50 more scholarship to the Kenyan students to come to China for more training. I think I've touched on that. The rest we liaise with the Minister of the Foreign Affairs so that we can reach you more and get more of our input in everything that you need. Thank you.
Much, Excellencies. Point of correction. Our country does not recognize herbal medicine. However, we are requesting for generic, the conventional medicine. Let me give my Honorable Minister to comment on that.
Well, I'm not going to give a comment in regard to what she says about herbal medicine, because, point of correction, my Minister of Foreign Affairs, Minister for Health, was actually appreciating the fact that herbal medicine from China is here and people are using it, and she was requesting the Chinese to educate Kenyans more about these medicines, as in how they will benefit from it. And our Minister for Health from Chinese government was talking about the issue of work permits. Well, about the work permits, we shall issue work permits gratis, as in free, for doctors who have specialized in herbal medicine. But in return, we want, when they come here, they will have to import their medicine in conjunction with local agents. We have very many graduates from our universities who have studied science, and they work around as medical representatives. So we will want the few experts that we shall issue work permits with to come and work in conjunction with the local agents, and our medical representatives who are graduates from the universities can be trained and they will be able to market those products. So we will only issue work permits to doctors specifically trained in that field, and like I've assured you, it's going to be free of charge on condition that they work in liaison with local agents, and our graduates will learn from them and be able to market the products to the locals.
Our request as the Chinese government is that the Kenyan government will cater for the transport costs. From the look of things, the Kenyan government is benefiting more, and we'd like this to be a give-take situation. We will provide the medicine, yes, but we will need that you cater for the transportation costs from China to Kenya. Thank you.
Transportation. Just as a comment, to ensure we have a good relationship, I would like to ensure that we have standard medicine coming to the country. There have been complaints behind the curtains that some things are coming which are substandard. So I'd like to request our good friends to ensure that whatever you're granting us is all standard. Thank you.
Excellency. Now, in addition to that, we've agreed on several issues, probably accept the time frame within which we are going to do all this. Like, may I ask our Chinese counterparts how much time or how long they will build this, construct the hospital, and do all that they have promised to do for us? Ladies and gentlemen, we have had a very good working relationship with the government of Kenya, and the people of Kenya are very confident with the workmanship of the Chinese people, and it is well known that the moment the papers are signed, that hospital is going to start getting constructed, and within 2 years the project should be completed.
Thank you very much. We agree to that, so that we can work on the 2 years timeline. Move to the next sector, that's the Ministry of Energy. We had highlighted the agenda, but we'd like to do more discussion about it.
I would want to inform the delegation from Kenya that China will fully support you in the equipment that you will require. Just give us the specification, and we will actually be able to sort you, because we believe this will be also an opportunity for us to market our equipment here in Kenya and probably in East Africa generally. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that offer, but I would like the delegation to tell us if they will also be helping us with the maintenance of this equipment and for how long they will do it. Thank you.
For China, you are very much aware that this will not be the first project we are carrying out with you. This will not be the first equipment that we are going to provide to this good country, Kenya. We normally give up to 3 years of free service for any technical equipment that we provide out there. So count on us that you will have our after-sales service for up to 3 years. Thank you very much.
This field of energy, and this concerns two projects that were mentioned earlier on. First is the Mui Basin, which concerns the exploration of gas. It's a contract that was signed by the Kenyan government 3 years ago, and this has not yet started because the People's Republic of the companies have not yet started working, because it has been difficult to get the people who are living on the site from the land. Can the government of Kenya do something to solve the political problems around the issue so that our company can start working? And the same problem also has hindered the mining of titanium in Kwale, which is a project which should have started 5 years ago, but the government of Kenya has not been able to solve its local problems with its people. So what guarantee is the government of Kenya going to give our people as far as the efficiency of this project is concerned?
On behalf of the Kenya government, we would like to assure you that the government is looking into that issue of resettling the inhabitants of those regions. And very soon, in the next 2 months, they'll be compensated for the land that they have donated for mining. But before I pass the mic to my colleague, I'd also like to take us back to the issue of the wind energy. And my request is that the Chinese government trains Kenyan nationals on the maintenance of this equipment, so that after the after-service period of 3 years, Kenyans will be able to maintain the equipment. Thank you.
Madam Minister, for drawing our attention as of how or if we are going to train your people so that they can be able to maintain these machines after our 3-year lapse. Yes, if now that you've raised that, we promise that we will go back and see what program we can provide for your people so that they will be able to handle these machines. And again, I would want to tell you that the fact that we are going to service your machines for 3 years does not mean we stop there. Yes, if we will still have, if we are going to experience any problem with those machines, then we are still going to service them, but this time at a cost. Unless, our belief is that within the first 3 years, these machines could have problems maybe based on manufacture, but then 3 years later, it could be because of poor usage or something like that, and therefore something arising from your own fault will be, the cost will be met by the Republic of Kenya. Thank you.
I've not had a response over the issue of the gas exploration that you had informed us. The contract was signed 3 years ago. What has Kenya done about it? We are not told, because so that we know, is this contract going to go on, or what are the measures which have been put in place to protect the Chinese government? Secondly, on the issue of mining, I've just heard you saying that you are planning to resettle the local people. Now, what time frame are we looking at? Is it in the next 2 years or forever? Are we going to wait forever as the Chinese government? Because we also need to protect our interests.
First, on the gas exploration issue, I would like to highlight that Kenya is a respecter of human rights and land rights. So we have had to follow due diligence on relocation of the people, which I hope the government, your government, understands takes time. So, and that is the same situation on the other side, but we commit to a time frame of 2 months, as Madam Excellency had mentioned before. We are in the concluding stages of the relocation. And though the contract has taken 3 years, I believe that it will be very beneficial for the Chinese government when it starts. Thank you, Excellency.
Thank you very much. I believe that we've exhausted the energy sector. We'd like to have a lunch break. We can do a few consultations, get to know your counterparts, your colleagues, and let's meet at exactly 2:15. Thank you very much. Have a nice lunch. I'd like to welcome our Honorable Minister for Mr. Trade to please give us the agenda.
Good afternoon. To begin with, I would like to recap what happened some time back. In the year 2010, there were bilateral talks between China and Kenya, in which some areas were discussed. concerning our trade relations. But there's still more. There's the issue of agriculture and food production that was discussed, trade promotion, investment expansion and debt exemption. But there are also other issues that we didn't discuss in that meeting. And these were medical care and public health, prevention and treatment of major diseases, education, training and academic exchange, clean energy and clean drinking water. All these we discussed with the Minister for Commerce of China, and we resolved that we'll zero in into these issues to see what will be of benefit to both of us. Now we'll need today to ask a few more requests from the Republic of China, especially on trade promotion. We request that on issues of products from Kenya, especially tea, coffee, and nuts, we zero rate the tariff on those particular products. Furthermore, we also request the Republic of China, through the Ministry of Commerce, to build agricultural technologies demonstration centers in the country, especially those dealing with fruits and vegetable processing, since this will encourage not only expansion of the agricultural sector, but this will enhance technological transfer. Lastly, in the last bilateral talks we had with you, we had suggested that you give us more space in your direct exports and exhibition, and that the Chinese government should make efforts to mobilize industrialists in your country so that they can participate. They can look at what you offer in our country, and that will also help direct trade negotiations between our industrialists and the businessmen in your country. I'd like us to look into that and see what we can do. Thank you.
I'd like to pass it over to Our Excellency Minister of Foreign Affairs for the Republic of China.
I wish to request my colleagues to respond.
Thank you very much, His Excellency. It is true that tea and coffee have become very popular in China, and we are going to consider your request. We may not be able to zero rate coffee and tea coming into China. Maybe we could negotiate on reducing the tariff instead of zero rating it. You've also talked about trade promotion. I think what we would advise or what we would agree on is that we could have a joint negotiation between the Ministry of Trade from your government and the Ministry of Trade from our government, and then we could look for areas that we could partner in, and we could also borrow best practices from both countries. Thank you.
That point is being taken up, unless you have any more comments. So our Ministry of Trade will hold an interministerial meeting, and then they'll discuss on the way forward, unless you have more suggestions.
We have a very good herbal tea in China. We'd also like to export it to you so that you can take it. It's very good, and I think from the Ministry of Health, they will agree with us that it has been approved. It's very good for your health. So she can comment more on that. She's saying actually that is okay. So actually, if you give us, on the other side, we would also like to have more tea coming in Kenya. So this can help you and I think and your people, so that we both grow together.
I wish to mention something about trade promotion, and this regards the Canton Trade Exhibition, which is held in Guangzhou in China every year. And this is a trade promotion. It's probably the largest trade promotion in the world. And this is one trade promotion that we encourage Kenyan investors to come and showcase their produce. Probably we can take undertaking as a government that the government of the People's Republic of China is going to give a good rating for Kenyan exhibitors in the Canton Trade Fair. That's all.
Thank you very much. I would also like to add that we can also make use of the existing Trade and Economic Commission between the two governments, that's our government and the Republic of China, to see how we can balance the trade. Because if you look at what our country, Kenya, is doing, we more exporting the primary goods, while our good friends, you're importing to us the capital goods. So we'd like to have a fair trade in between. We'll also give you our products, coffee and tea, at an affordable rate. Because we know China, with your population, you have a big population, and you're good in taking tea, which will also enhances our social ties. So if we're able to get more business with you, we'll really do a fair trade instead of importing trade from other countries. Thank you. Comment?
Thank you, Excellency. I would like to request for a comment from Her Excellency, the Minister for Trade, on China's position on the counterfeit goods that have been coming into various developing markets. Thank you.
The Minister for Trade, I would like to respond to that question on counterfeit. First and foremost, I would like to tell the honorable delegates from Kenya that China is very much developed technologically, to the extent that some of these things are just made across the street, that in like any residential estate, there is a lab. This lab